Welcome back to the channel. It's a very sunny day on the plot today, so I'm hiding in the corner because I can't actually look at the camera when I move into the middle of the greenhouse. I have got some work to do in the greenhouse today because the cucumbers that we've got in here, which are doing really well, they are the FemSpot cucumbers. They are showing signs that, well, one of them in particular is looking quite unhealthy. And it does look like spider mite. However, it could also be a nutrient deficiency because I haven't been able to come up here as much as normal because of the school holidays. And obviously it's been warm and dry, but they're inside anyway, so the drought doesn't matter to them. But I have been leaving them in a gravel tray with some water in the bottom. And the one that is worst affected is at the bottom end, and it slopes slightly down that way, so the water pools at that end. And so I'm thinking it could be nutrient damage, nutrient deficiency. So I have let it dry out. I haven't watered them for a couple of days. They're still fine. They're not dry. And I'm going to give them a seaweed feed today, and I'm going to see what I can do to wash the leaves as best I can. It's a little bit awkward with them being up on the potting bench, and I will see if I can sort it out, and I'll see how it goes over the next few days. And if it gets worse and I do see signs of the spider mites themselves, because I can't see any signs of anything, any dust particles moving around on there, then I will sacrifice the end one to avoid it spreading, because they're all very close together, so it will spread if it is spider mite. They'll get onto the other ones as well, but the others are looking all right so far. So yes, but I'm going to discard one of the cucumbers, and there's two really good ones ready for harvesting. I also have been making an awful lot of soup lately, and I made some cucumber soup. Delia Smith late summer cucumber soup. I've talked about it before. My favourite soup. It's really lovely. It sounds awful. It's actually really nice, and I made like about 24 portions of it yesterday, and I still have loads of cucumbers left. And I made a massive pan of courgette soup as well. I chucked some random stuff together, mostly courgettes, and I used about 4 kilos of courgettes in there, and I still have tons left because the ones I harvested the other day I'd left a little bit too long again, and they were massive. They're bigger than the marrows. The courgettes are bigger than the marrows, so yes. And so I'll show you that because I came up and did some harvesting. Got quite a lot of tomatoes. That was really nice. But today Mark has been up for about an hour before me, and he is pulling up a path, and he's currently weeding it because the devil's spaghetti or couch grass grows up through there. So he's taking as much of the root out as he can so that we can extend the wood chip area, and he's going to then take out the strawberry beds and build the beds that are going in their place. So let's go see how he's getting on with that. In a good time?
Yes.
Do you love couch grass?
Yes.
I'll be honest, there's not a lot to do today. There is for him, the stuff that he's doing, but for me, really, I'm just going to be pottering about, tidying up and doing a bit of weeding, I think, because I'll check for courgettes, pray that we don't find any that are ready to pick, and I'll give everything a really good soak. But yeah, things looking pretty good, but we're in that kind of, we're in a transitional stage. But I do have a couple of things to show you. I've just seen one of my dad's marrows, and my butternut squash plant, it's a little too late, but it has baby butternuts on. Next year I am going to set my challenge as successfully grow at least one butternut squash, because I never have success with them. I only bought one, shop bought one though, but it's a very small plant. It's got quite a few butternuts on it now. At this stage, it's August. It's August now. I don't think we're going to get anywhere with it, but I'm going to let it live because it's not taking up any room that would otherwise be taken up by anything else. But yeah, I can see Mark. He's just thinking. He stood looking at the area thinking, how am I going to do this? And I don't know. While Mark's doing that, I have just taken the netting off of these Gowrie Swedes, and they are covered in holes. I did go in and remove a few caterpillars a few days ago. They also feel a bit dry, like they need a good water. But I'm going to harvest a couple because I'll be going to pick my kids up soon, and my parents really like these. So I'm going to take a couple for them. Now the great thing about this particular Swede is that it's clubroot resistant, because we do have clubroot here, although I haven't had much of a problem from it since I took over the allotment. And it doesn't get woody when you store it or when it stays in the ground, so we can harvest these gradually. They can get bigger, it'll be fine, but this one looks a good size for now. I'm not a huge fan. I don't mind them. They're certainly not like my favourite, but yeah. That looks really good. I think I'll take 2 for them. There are some holes in them, in that one particularly. Look at this one. Oh, that's got a little baby attached. But yeah, no, they're fine. Oh. Most of the other ones are quite small at the moment, so they'll be great to save. But there is another large one here, a largish actually. Yeah, I'll leave the rest of them, and I'm going to leave them unnetted now and see how we get on. You know, by this time of year, usually I'm struggling with the garden because I get that fatigue, that overwhelm. Things, you know, if I can't get here as often as I'd like, things start to suffer. Things, you know, especially with the weather we've had, heat waves and droughts and things. And often that makes me very overwhelmed. It makes me feel a bit down about it all. You know, because you want things to succeed and to do well. You want to have those harvests because, you know, as much as that's not the point for me, the whole process is the point, it's still difficult to get to the end of a long season and find that actually the crops have failed and you're not, you know, I can go to the supermarket and buy food. It's not a problem in that respect, but it's a disappointment, isn't it? And sometimes at this time of year, I'm really feeling that fatigue. And this year is different because this year things have gone pretty well in spite of the conditions. And although I have been here a lot watering, my dad comes up to water, Mark's come up to water, and, you know, to try and keep things going because we haven't had any rain in ages. In Yorkshire, we're not technically in the area that's been declared as a drought, but it feels like a drought, I'll be honest. We've had a few very light drops of rain, but it has literally been like 5 minutes of very, very light rain and gone. Nothing that would make a difference to a plant. The garden at home has certainly struggled, but I have prioritised the allotment because of the food. That being said, I do want to keep flowers flowering because we want to feed the pollinators, and we want those pollinators to continue to pollinate and to feed the birds. And, you know, it's a knock-on effect, and the drought doesn't just affect humans, does it? It affects the ecosystem in general. And so I do think it's important to keep things going as much as possible. And yeah, but I think the successes that we've had on the plot this year have really spurred me on to keep going next year. You know, I'm always learning, always thinking about things and how we can optimise things and do a bit better next year. And I've got some thoughts on that and some plans, and I'm excited. I'm excited about next year, but not too excited yet because we've still got to see out the rest of this year. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I have, you know, learned a few things again this year about what I will grow next year and what I won't grow, and we'll cover it more in detail in a video probably in the autumn winter time. But yeah, I'm happy generally with how things are going, and Mark is currently working to make it even better while I'm sitting down on my backside talking to a camera. Right, so I'm back on the plot, same day, 8 p.m-ish. Just popped up to get some footage because Mark has sent me some photographs and a bit of footage of what he's done, but it wasn't the best quality, so I thought I would bring the camera up and get some footage to show you how much he got done. And he got everything done that I hoped he would get done and more, and it looks great and I absolutely love it. It's exactly as I envisaged it. I've nothing to plant in it though, which is a problem, but a problem that we will rectify. We will rectify it. But it looks really good, and I love the plot at this time of day. It's so peaceful and nice. So let's have a quick look around while we're the only ones here. Oh look, he even got my kale re-netted. It's not fully secure, but it's done. I took out the parsnips and the carrots because, to be honest, they weren't great, and so he's used the soil, some of the leftover soil, to fill this up. Again, really dislike these beds. These will no doubt come out. So one of the things I would really like to do, and I've mentioned this in a video before, is change this particular area. So the plot's kind of divided up into two sections. There's the area over here with the larger beds, which I'm very happy with, and then you've got the area over here with the smaller beds. Well, and these two monstrosities. Now these two are very flimsy and were hard to build, and to be honest, yeah, I don't love them, But the little beds are absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. They're just too small. The middle bed is absolutely fine, although it looks awful. I keep saying that as well. It is actually a really nice sort of centrepiece for this area. And I think because Mark built this bed last time, obviously we haven't filled it yet because we've got the beans running in, but this bed is going to be for like beans, and it could have courgettes going down the front of it next year maybe, and all sorts of things going on. I think I would really like to turn this into like a potager area and maybe have wooden beds that sort of, like this one, just run the full length that way with a path in between. Maybe we could keep these or replace these with something of a similar size, or a square bed maybe. Keep the centre bed because I love it, and then replace this row of little beds and the row of these large beds with, sorry, I'm making the camera go all out of focus, with, you know, long wooden beds. Of course, there's no real reason to do that at the moment because these beds are in good enough condition, and it cost me a lot of money to put these beds in place. These were the cheapest ones, and I would either give them away or sell them or whatever, but they wouldn't be wasted, certainly not. But obviously timber is very expensive, so yes. Anyway, yes, very happy with how it all is. I've left the netting off this bed and we'll just see how it goes. Courgettes, I think these courgettes are coming to the end a little bit now. They're still productive, but they're not as productive. But they've provided me with a lot of courgettes. There is a round one in there that I could have. This round one hasn't produced many, I must admit, but they're covered in mildew now, and you know, we'll see. We'll see. We might still get a few. There are a few in there. But yeah. So I'm very, very, very happy. But let's get to the bit that I'm really, really happy about, because it's just down here. And there you go. So I'll put a little bit of a recap in as to how it looked before. And this is what it's looking like now. And I love this because one of the subscribers, one of our viewers, Susie, suggested that we have dwarf fruit trees in here. And I think that's an excellent idea. So I think maybe a couple of dwarf fruit trees, because look at if you can see the espaliered fruit trees on my neighbour's plot over there. We've got plums, apples and pears. Always looks amazing. And I would like to do something similar, probably not espalier, maybe more of a column tree, I don't know, we'll see. But then just like either a mixture of edibles and ornamentals, or edible ornamentals along here. And obviously this hasn't quite gone to plan this year. There's some good stuff in there, but it's not quite as nice as I would like it to be. It's got some really nice things though. And this, look at the sunflowers. These are all the same variety. We've got this one, which is about 3.5 foot tall. Then you've got this one, which is not quite as tall as me, and I'm 5'3". And then you've got that one all the way up there, which is probably 10 foot tall. All the same variety. All the same variety. But yeah, so this needs a good top up as well anyway. Needs a weed and a top up. And I might nip somewhere tomorrow and just see if there's anywhere I can find that's still selling things. Because I could put, do you know what would look really nice in here? Like a row of dahlias. And I might be able to get that at this time of year. Let me show you the ornamental bed down the side of the polytunnel, because it's gone over a little bit, but the perennial sunflowers are coming out now, so they're probably about 7 foot. They were starting to fall over a little bit because they get a bit dry, but there they are. Haven't taken the foxgloves here out yet. But yeah, oh, look at this self-seeded cosmos is a lovely white one. It's probably the best cosmos I've got anywhere at the moment. And the Verbena bonariensis has started to flower, and yeah, it's a bit scrappy. The celery is not so happy. But you know, it's dry and celery doesn't like dry weather. Hello, Mr. Pigeon. Hello. And this is the butternut squash I was showing you earlier. So look, we've got some little babies. They haven't opened the flowers yet, so Have we got any male flowers? We've got a male flower there that's going over. If we've no male flowers coming at the same time, we're definitely not going to get anything, but yes. If I can get some bedding dahlias, though, I would really like to have some to put in here. I'll put whatever I can in here, to be honest. I did transplant some calendula from that bed. Still haven't got that bindweed out there. That bed into here, but it all died. Well, there's a couple of bits that are limping along, but they're not doing very well. So yes, you can't win them all. We've got lots of calendula growing in the paths, and I haven't weeded that out because, well, why would I? Frankly, why would I? So yeah. We've got a lovely pair of climbing gardening gloves. Look, how nice is that? Also, he's moved the wheelbarrow. I struggle to move this because the wheel is knackered. He's put the bench there, which is a nice place for the bench. However, we now have 2 of these metal raised beds to place somewhere, and this really is probably where it's going to end up. They are going to end up somewhere here. Probably one where those blueberries are, and then maybe one sort of here-ish. But that does mean I need to find somewhere for that. Now, this hasn't actually gone as well as I'd hoped, and I don't know whether it's overwatered or underwatered or what, but also it's metal, so it gets hot. So yes, I'm not sure where we went wrong there. Although it does feel dry, and they are Mediterranean herbs, so you'd think dry would be okay. The rosemary's doing okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. So I don't know. Underwater, overwater, a combination of the two, who knows? Hello, it's Editing Lindsay. I've just realised that I think it's actually because it's shallow at the front above the wheel, and I think there's probably not enough room for the roots because the plants at the back of the wheelbarrow are doing far better than the ones at the front. So I think maybe that's got a lot to do with it, actually. So there you go, very happy. So as always, if you are new here, I would love it if you would consider sticking around, give us a cheeky little hype and a lovely like, and say hi in the comments and let me know how your gardening year's going so far. Are you having a good season? If you're in the UK or one of the other countries affected by drought this year, how's it going? How are you coping? How have you adapted? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for being with me, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.